in the group stage of the Champions League with James McFadden, Killian Sheridan and Liam McLeod.
It is a historic fixture in this competition, the battle for the European Cup in 1970, Feyenoord beating Celtic in the final. George Steen's side were favourites going into that one, unlike 1967 when they overcame the odds to beat Inter. Last time you'll hear that this season at Celtic Park. Celtic out of the competition, out of Europe altogether, but still with pride to play for this evening against the reigning Dutch champions Feyenoord. Rotterdam, who have failed themselves to get through to the knockout stages of this tournament this season. This, incidentally, is the last ever Champions League group stage match, the last group stage night, match day. The format changes next year. There will be a league phase rather than the traditional 8 groups of 4. There will be 8 fixtures against different opponents, 4 at home, 4 away. That will extend into January as well, as this competition gets a bit of a shake-up, you have to say, probably to please those clubs that were eyeing up that all-star league that was eventually accomplished a year or 2 back. Callum McGregor comes to the halfway line and he will shortly exchange pennants with the Feyenoord skipper. Luciano Gertruda, the right back. And of course, these two met right at the very start of this section. A 2-0 Feyenoord victory. Celtic were excellent in the first half into count. And the concession of that free kick on the stroke of half-time did untold damage to them in the evening. Calvin Stengs it was, the Feyenoord number 10, who starts again this evening. As these two battle it out, Feyenoord will transfer to the Europa League in the spring. Celtic look to try and get a victory that would at the very least give them a better points tally than they managed 12 months ago. Callum McGregor off to the left to go into the Celtic, lining up with Joe Hart in goal. Back four of Johnston, Stephen Welsh, who makes his first start in over a year, just his second appearance of the season. He had 45 minutes of Pittodrie at the end of August. He's been out since then, and he partners Liam Scales. Who thought that that would be the centre-back too come match day 6 of the Champions League this season when this campaign got underway? Greg Taylor making up the defence, O'Reilly, McGregor, Iwata, Palma and Johnston supporting Kyogo, who'll be looking to score again here at Celtic Park, having done so against Lazio and against Atletico Madrid. It's been a pretty miserable season results-wise for Celtic in this tournament. They are 15 games without a win in the Champions League. It's a British record, which was achieved the wrong word, but that's what happened in Rome last time out as Celtic kick off in the green and white hoops. Left to right, it's a benign, chilly night here in Glasgow under the lights as the long ball comes off a Feyenoord head and out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side. They're also Celtic 13 without a win in Europe all told since beating Real Betis here on matchday 6 in the Europa League a couple of seasons back under Postecoglou. As Celtic give it away down the near side, but that's been run out of play, and that will be a throw-in for Celtic. Quinton Timber giving it away as Johnston picks up from the quick throw-in right hand side of the Feyenoord box. Celtic going left to right in the first half. Feyenoord in their change colours, the light blue, navy blue kit. Celtic going towards the Lisbon line stand in this first half as it's turned back to Liam Scales, left of the centre circle, and he strokes it to Welsh. So Celtic enjoying some early possession in the opening minute of the game here. It slipped out low along the grass to Palma on the far side. It's a really poor ball though, and he passes it straight to Igor Paixão, who saw his penalty saved by Joe Hart in that game in Rotterdam, as it's turned all the way back to Hart. But already, James, just even in the opening minute or so of the game, you can tell the Celtic players are up for making an impression tonight.
Yes, you can, as Liam Scales. I mean, that's the second time now that they've played a long direct ball in behind, trying to get down the sides and behind, which is a different approach. But there's no doubt the players are up for it. You can see with the start. But another thing, you know, Kenny mentioned there was you wouldn't struggle to get a ticket. Well, I think there was a struggle for a ticket because it looks pretty full to me. And the noise when the Champions League anthem was played was incredible again. So the fans are up for it, they're expecting, they want to see their team winning, and the players have started in that vein as well.
And what Kyogo will be wanting, Killian, as a man who started for Celtic in the Champions League once upon a time, is he'll be wanting some service to feed off of early on in the game, if possible.
Yeah, it looks like a promising start in terms of him, in the way Celtic are willing to play those balls over the top, in behind. So hopefully that can work out for Kyogo and can capitalise off his movement with them. What Faddy's saying on the noise before, and it was incredible. It's like, I know you talk about the stats on going so long without winning in it, but people say you'd rather be in the Europa League and competing rather than here. No chance.
No, this is where the players want to be, isn't it? This is dining at the top table stuff. Scales has it, and he rolls it just left of the penalty area to Joe Hart, who turns it low back out to Scales in the left-hand side. He turns it up the line for Palma, tries to get it under control. He has done so. He's facing his own goal here, though. Dinks it, square ball across the edge of his own box. Welsh as well. Turns it forward, and O'Reilly stretching his legs. Rolls it low out to Johnston, wide on the right, attacking the Feyenoord box here. The Celtic number 90, the edge of the area, his left foot shot scuffed and blocked. Breaks back the way to Iwata. Out to Johnston, level with the edge of the Feyenoord D's. Cross is poor, and that will allow the Rotterdamers to clear, and Santiago Jimenez is in possession just now, just outside the centre circle. He rolls it to his right, where it's picked up by Zerouki, the Algerian international, who spreads the play out to the right-hand side. Turned in field there to the number 8, Timbaru, turns and drives forward into the Celtic half. Rolls it low out to this left-hand side for Ivanušić. It's a chip ball into the box, a little flick comes to the right-hand side of the 6-yard box, but fortunately for Celtic, it breaks Greg Taylor's way. First real flicker of life from Feyenoord in the game. It comes 4 minutes in, just about. Celtic 0, Feyenoord 0.
Yeah, and Celtic deal with it, and it comes from Celtic, you know, on a quick break. More of what you want to see for Celtic. You know, the ball, I have to say, Stephen Welsh does brilliantly, is what's known in the trade as a hospital pass, square pass, and he has to flick it round the corner. He does to Matt O'Reilly. Matt O'Reilly takes a touch. Before he's taking his touch, Mikey Johnson's away. He's on his bite. He wants the ball quick, and Matt O'Reilly takes a touch, plays it to Mikey Johnson. Alistair Johnson makes a run inside him. I thought he was going to play a little reverse pass. He cuts inside, had his shot. Can't blame him too much for that. And then Feyenoord go up and go in the attack. But Greg Taylor is in a brilliant position, just tucked inside that back post to make sure that there's no danger, and Celtic managed to snuff it out.
Palma for Celtic over on the left-hand side in front of the north stand. Short to McGregor, goes back to Scales. Switches it to the right of the centre circle for Welsh. He bends the ball out to Johnston on this near side. Johnston cuts in field, but he shows too much of it to Ivanušić, who drives in field. He claims, I think he's been fouled there by Iwata. Play goes on, but Feyenoord still in possession, and the throw-in is one on this near side by Kundilci. Hartman, the Feyenoord left back, and that will be a throw-in to the visitors. Their manager down there, Arne Slot, is very keen that his team wins this game. He was talking about the monetary aspect of things, £2 million for a win in the Champions League. Celtic coming away, despite having not won a game so far, they're still going to leave this competition £40 million richer than they were when they started, which is not to be sniffed at quite clearly, but they want wins. And here come Feyenoord, who too also want all 3 points, and there's a chance for Timber up to the edge of the box. He shoots, it's deflected, and behind for the game's first corner, which goes Feyenoord's way, and that's greeted by a huge roar from the big travelling support off to our right here. They're making some amount of noise, and Feyenoord have the first corner of the match.
Yeah, they are making some noise. They were in early as well, you could hear them, but that was a massive chance here for Feyenoord. Timber had made the run beyond the Wata. It was a great run, great early pass. If he gets his head up, he's got Jimenez in the middle, all alone, potentially offside, but I think you still need to play it. He cuts inside, takes a shot, deflected. Now Celtic need to defend the corner.
In swinging corner coming from that far side. It's headed away by O'Reilly at the near post, and out for a throw-in over on the far side, a bit level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box on the Feyenoord right. Killian.
Yeah, I think we can see already that Feyenoord, you can't be sloppy with them any chance, and their front three look like they can make chances out of nothing. So if you're going to gift them anything, it's a recipe for disaster already. They look really dangerous.
It's a nice little video tribute before kick-off to Wim Jansen, the late Wim Jansen, who managed both these clubs and of course was part of that Feyenoord team that beat Celtic to win the European Cup in 1970. And an interested spectator here, Pierre van Hooijdonk, who played with distinction for both. The Celtic come forward with McGregor, who overhits the pass towards Kyogo, moved to the left of the penalty spot, needed a better execution there from Callum McGregor, which he is normally so reliable for, and that goes behind for the goal kick.
That's not like him, but it starts with a brilliant pass from Stephen Wells, steps in, just fires it into the feet of Callum McGregor, as usual, takes an impeccable first touch, and Kyogo's away. We spoke about it before the game. He's away, he's movement, he's peeling off defenders. Callum McGregor spots it, he just overhits the pass slightly, but it was really good from Wells to McGregor. Not so good from McGregor to Kyogo, but chances like that will come for Celtic.
Yeah, it looks like it could definitely be an exciting game. Both teams have started attacking wise look exciting. Both Celtic are willing to go forward early. Feyenoord can look dangerous on the break. And like we were saying, it's positive from the Celtic side, where McGregor, they're looking early to try and play those forward passes and slide the Kyogo and the wingers in.
Yeah, the shackles are off for both in many ways. They can't progress in the Champions League, and they can still impress in front of the cameras as McGregor comes down the left, rolls it to Palma. He gets the break of the ball, he's got it back level with 18 into the box. O'Reilly gets a little touch, and down goes Bilal to hold on, with Kyogo lurking behind him. And it stays Celtic 0, Feyenoord 0 on 8 minutes.
No, it's unlucky. Really good play. They got a bit of fortune. Palma tries to cut into his right foot. It's blocked, but Greg Taylor gives him it nice and early. Matt O'Reilly, as we're so used to seeing, makes that diagonal run across.
Yeah, and Kyogo's just pinched off the defender, but he couldn't quite get back onto the return pass, which was unfortunate. It was really sloppy from Thomas Bielen, who's the right centre-back, who's probably one of the Feyenoord starters tonight, who doesn't generally start games for them. New signing in the summer from newly promoted Zwolle, but he had his pocket picked by Kyogo there. He laid it back, but he couldn't get onto the return, and Bielen gets away with it, and it stays nothing each.
They had a bit of joy with that in the first game as well, Liam, if you remember right. It's particularly in the first half when they had 11 men on the pitch. Celtic were pressing Feyenoord high up the pitch, and they were struggling at times to get out, but as Killian says, they looked so dangerous on the counter.
It was good work by Johnston initially there down the right, found O'Reilly, couldn't find McGregor. Feyenoord clear, and it's Ivanušić. He'll slip it to Timber. He's got an option out wide right if he can find the pass. He couldn't. Taylor gets there before he could reach Paixão, and it's back with Joe Hart, who plays it short to Welsh. Yeah, Celtic had Lagerbielke and Holmes sent off in De Kuip in September, which didn't exactly help their cause. Those two Reds coming with the scoreline at 1-0. The Lagerbielke one was when he conceded the penalty, which Hart saved, as Johnston comes forward on the right. Now to Johnston, scampering forward, Mikey Johnston, back to Alistair Johnston, wide on the right-hand side. Low ball across, cut out in the 6-yard line. And away to safety from David Hansko for a Celtic throw. And they've started the game well, 10 in, 0-0. And it's Matt O'Reilly in possession, rolling it back to Welsh.
They have, Liam, and it's the speed that's impressive. You know, we spoke about it before the game. When Celtic move the ball quick and they've got willing runners, they do look a really good side. And it was a brilliant pass. It was great play, actually, because they built up from the back, comes into Awata, he's under a bit of pressure. He plays a 1-2, delayed 1-2 with Alistair Johnston.
That's a chip ball through for O'Reilly, no flag, he has it right-hand side. Mikey Johnston makes a move into the middle, roll back to McGregor, shoots first time, and Bilal holds on to it. Callum McGregor will be annoyed he's not managed to get that past the goalkeeper there. He's at least got it on target, but either side of Bilal, and it's causing much more of an issue for the Feyenoord number one. It stays 0-0 in 11.
Yeah, not sure offside or onside there. The deepest defender, he didn't seem to be claiming for any offside, so I think he was possibly playing him on. Big chance again. They're the chances that Celtic need to take when they're on starting good, getting momentum, having the ball. Even there's a few times Alistair Johnston has been in good positions. They've worked it well up, and it's just that final ball at this level. It needs to be so precise.
Alistair Johnston over the throw-in. His namesake Mikey makes the movement towards him, gets it back to the Canadian, then back to Mikey Johnston, to Alistair Johnston, back to a Welsh, and infield to Iwata. Stokes the ball short to Scales, just outside the centre circle. Left foot ball up to Taylor. On the touchline's Palma. Scored that memorable goal against Atletico here. He looks to cross, it's cut out, and then whipped away from him. Over on the far side by Gertruda, and it's picked up by Scales over on the left hand side. Down the line for Palma. We're going to take on Gertruda again. And at least wins the throw in, about level with the Feyenoord penalty spot over on that Celtic left hand side. Looking for an option now is Taylor. Taylor to Palma, down at the corner flag, faced by Gertruda again. Paixão there as well. Back to Taylor, and then Palma again at the angle of the box. Back to Scales. It's a touch off Jimenez. It's Scales to Welsh, and then to Scales again. Celtic forced back onto the halfway line though, as it's played forward to Taylor. First time out to Palma, first time again to O'Reilly, was down. No free kick, and it's picked up here by Timber in the midfield. The Feyenoord number 8 again driving forward across halfway, and it's a good bit of defensive work there. Combination of Welsh and Iwata. Celtic have it back with O'Reilly, and then to Stephen Welsh. Iwata's gone down and he's stayed down, so there's going to be a stoppage in play here, but it's a really important intervention from both he and Welsh there, Killian.
Yeah, it's been a great start from Stephen Welsh. He's made some good interceptions. He's covering across well there. He's read the danger, and then on the ball he's been well. He's been positive. He's stepping in and breaking lines. He's looking for that early pass, which will no doubt do him the world of good. Hasn't played in so long, to come into a game like this and start as he has. It's a very impressive start from him.
Big game in the Championship tonight, where Killian is indeed starring right now, and Raith Rovers have a 1-0 lead at Gayfield against Arbroath. Aidan Connolly scored it on the 19th minute as Raith look to extend the lead at the top to 2, or go back to the top. Here's Kyogo at the edge of the box, down he goes. No free kicks is the French ref. Celtic play on with Mikey Johnston out wide right to the box. O'Reilly is chip cross, takes a deflection off Hartman and behind for a Celtic corner. This is their first of the evening. 14th minute, 0-0. The Celtic fans felt they should have had a free kick at the edge of the Feyenoord box.
He's so unlucky, Kyogo, because it's a brilliant early ball in. He gets there first, Palin is behind him, and he tries to just flick it through his legs and go the other side, and he just keeps a hold of him. I think that was a foul.
This is Mikey Johnston, right hand side of the box, back to Palma. Now it's McGregor. Square ball to Taylor, turns it out to Kyogo, left hand side of the Feyenoord box. His cross though cut out, and away it goes for a throw into Celtic. Over on the far side, Antoine Griezmann has Atletico 1-0 up against Lazio in the Metropolitano in the other game in the group this evening. But that is the battle for top spot. Atletico 4 points clear at the top of the group currently as it stands, with that 1-0 lead there. And just a reminder, as I said, Arbroath have equalised. Hilton has cancelled out the Connolly opener, so Arbroath 1, Raith Rovers 1. That was a Hilton penalty on the half hour. And Rovers will have played a game more than title rivals Dundee United when that comes to a close tonight. And 1 apiece it is, half an hour in. We are 15 in here, 0-0. Matchday 6 in the Champions League. Ivanushic with a touch, but it goes straight to Scales, who finds McGregor in the centre circle, and he rolls it with the left out to Palma on that left hand side, and he's up against Gertruda. Turns it back to Taylor, back to Scales in the halfway line, and along the halfway line to Welsh, to Alistair Johnston on this near side. It all breaks down, goes behind for a throw-in on this near side. Killian, you'll be interested in Liam Scales and Mikey Johnston tonight. They've both got their places in the starting 11 for the Republic of Ireland, who will be looking towards what they'll hope is a brighter future.
Yeah, no, Liam Scales, he's done brilliant to get himself into the squad and into that reckoning. Mikey Johnston, it was interesting before the St Johnstone game. When I was watching him with Ireland, he kept coming on and playing games and really impressing for Ireland, and then you were kind of watching it and thinking, come and like bring that in with Celtic. He did against St Johnstone. This is a different case now where he's no longer coming into the team and trying to prove people that he should be there. He's now there. Now this the chance.
Yeah, there's a ball through for Kyogo, left hand side of the penalty area. Shot saved though by Bilal, who needs to be better. He's annoyed with himself. Palma picks up on the far side touchline. Infield to McGregor, finds Taylor, to McGregor and then to Palma, and he's been robbed. Sloppy. And now Zerouki picking up, having won it back, finds his teammate in the centre circle, looking to slip it through to the right hand side for Paixão. Paixão with a foul on the man over on the far side, Palma, who did well to get himself back into a position where he was able to make the challenge, having given it away himself there, James. And a couple of sloppy moments from Luis Palma in the opening 17 minutes of this game.
It was tremendous defending from Palma to get back, because Paixão was in. He does really well. I think Scales is inside and potentially could shepherd it out, but Palma shows pace that I didn't know he had. You know, it was one thing when he came into the team, you say great technique, great delivery, can cut inside, get a shot. Unbelievable pace to get back there, and great defensive play as Iwata is down receiving treatment after that challenge.
He's going to come off, I think.
He done really well in that instant as well. Again, another brilliant recovery run to get back goal side, and I think it's a collision with his own player. I think it's a collision with Stephen Welsh. No fault of any of the two players. You would rather see two players get in for the same challenge, fully committed, than both of them pulling out. But it looks like he won't be able to continue it.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think Paulo Bernardo looks like the most obvious replacement. David Turnbull's on the bench as well. But Tomoki Iwata is having to come off, and it's just another issue for Iwata, who's struggled to impress since arriving in January. He was the J-League Player of the Year last year before Ange Postecoglou brought him to the club, but just issues, whether it's injuries or being able to, when he gets his opportunity, impress, have been a problem. He played under Postecoglou in Yokohama as well, so he clearly felt he'd be a really important player for this football club. It's just not happening for him right now.
Yeah, and I think that with Hatate being out, this is Celtic's best midfield, with Iwata being that sitter and Callum McGregor playing further forward. Callum McGregor will need to drop back. Paulo Bernardo has played in these types of games, the Champions League games. I don't think he'll have that, you know, the speed in his passing. I haven't seen evidence of that yet, that Callum McGregor's certainly brings to the side. So it's again reverting back to trying to find the solution to the problem that is when Hatate's missing, who comes in and steps into that position.
Stephen Welsh for Celtic, so Bernardo on for Iwata, given away by Alistair Johnston. Now it's with Stengs, rolls it back to Zerouki. The Algerian with a right foot low ball, couldn't find Ivanušić. Was under his left boot, and out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side. It will be a throw about level with their own 18-yard line. Double header tomorrow night here on Sportsound. Aberdeen, Eintracht Frankfurt in the Conference League, 5:45. Not much other than pride and money on the line for Aberdeen, same as Celtic tonight. And then later, 8 o'clock kickoff in Seville at the Via Marine. It's Real Betis against Rangers, as Philippe Clement's unbeaten record probably gets its biggest test thus far. Given away by Welsh. Now it's Stengs picking up for Feyenoord, rolling it to the left-hand side of the Celtic box for Ivanušić, the Croatian international. Cross ball as he uses the underlapping Hartmann. It's blocked, breaks back to the edge of the area for Timber. Now Zerouki, Bernardo all over him. Back it comes to Timber. Rolls it with the right foot to the left angle of the box there for Hartmann, whose cross is cut out. It was a low ball, blocked by Mikey Johnston, and out for a Feyenoord throw-in. Level the edge of the D of the Celtic box on the main stand side.
Yeah, I think it was a brave pass from Stephen Welsh to do. He's like I said, he started well on the ball. Probably the right pass to try and play. He just didn't fully hit it properly. But again, it's going back to the Bernardo coming on. I thought he'd done well in the game where he come on in half time. It's always a very hard time to come in a game in the first half of any match, trying to get up to speed in any game normally, but to do it in...
Well, there's a chance here. It's been threaded through to Jimenez round the goalkeeper, rolls it home. Flag's gone up though, it's not going to count. Santiago Jimenez, first chance in front of goal for him. He went round Hart and rolled it home with the left boot, but the flag went up. Offside is the decision. Celtic get away with it for now. Free kick on their 18-yard line, and it stays Celtic 0, Feyenoord 0, though they will be double checking that right now in the VAR room. It's okay, it's game on, no goal.
Yeah, I mean, you can say it's good play from Feyenoord, and Celtic with the gap at the back, but he's offside, and it looked, as soon as the ball was played, he looked clear offside, and the fact that it's taken about 10 seconds to check would tell you that he was well offside. But nonetheless, when he gets in that position, he shows his quality. He only needs a chance, half a chance.
He's got more goals and appearances this season, Jimenez. There's a foul by Alistair Johnston down here. That's a yellow card for the Celtic right back, just inside Feyenoord territory. The first yellow of the evening goes to Alistair Johnston for bringing down Timber. And Feyenoord have a free kick with Killian. That's a striker in form, isn't it? Just gets onto it calmly, nonchalantly goes round the keeper and strokes it home.
Yeah, he moves so well. He looks like he's just in total control of his body. He can feint it. He can beat players before the ball comes to him, just with little drops of the shoulder. He looks like a really good player.
The touch as well entices Joe Hart. It's quite out his body, but not that far away. Joe Hart thinks he can maybe get it, and then he just goes round him, and it's a nice cool finish. But yeah, I agree with Killian. I think he looks a real top player.
Some proper big guns after him. He's only 22, Jimenez. He missed the game against Celtic in Rotterdam through injury. He's been making up for it though. Scored his 30th Eredivisie goal of the calendar year at the weekend. The Scales slides in on Paixão and puts it out for a throw-in level with the Celtic 18. Over on the far side, the Feyenoord right as they attack the goal to our left. That is incidentally the most anyone scored in the Dutch top flight in a calendar year. Jimenez breaking the record set by Luis Suarez, who scored 29 for Ajax in 2009. Jimenez 30 league goals in the Netherlands in 2023. It's a long ball aimed for him, is headed away by Scales. Nodded forward by Zerouki. Paixão cut out by Taylor, who clears. And then it's picked up over on the left by Thomas Bielen, who goes back to his goalkeeper. Just signs in the last few minutes Feyenoord are beginning to take a grip of this game.
Yeah, I think Liam Scales has done very well the last minute or two there. He read a ball through for Paixão and done well to get over and get a tackle in before he was beaten for pace, which inevitably he was gonna. And then there again to intercept that pass going over. It looks like Jimenez was in. It looks like he was going to be onside as well. But yeah, Feyenoord are starting to get a little bit more control of the ball. They're getting through midfield.
Yeah, and here's Calvin Stengs on this near side. 0-0, 24 and a half on the clock. Zerouki switching the play out to that right hand side for Paixão again. It's back to Bielen onto the halfway line for Zerouki. And back to Bielen. He's got Hansko to his left. He plays it short instead to Geertruida. And back to his goalkeeper. Long from Bilal. Aim for Paixão. Taylor will chaperone it back to Joe Hart. He gathers on his 18-yard line, just inside his box. He was pretty close to being outside his area there when he used his hands to gather. Welsh finds Alistair Johnston on the near side, booked a moment ago, skips away from Ivanušić, through there for Kyogo. Bilal read it, comes to the edge of his box, lumps it up high into the air, comes off Alistair Johnston's head, picked up by Ivanušić on this near side, and he turns it back to Hartman, who plays it in field to the Slovakia international Hansko, and then to his goalkeeper. Feyenoord sitting 10 points adrift of PSV Eindhoven at the top of the Dutch top flight just now. And PSV have been in rampant form this season. It's going to be very difficult for Feyenoord to retain their title. 15 wins out of 15 for PSV. As Feyenoord come down the left of the Celtic box, little ball pulled back by Hartman's cut out. McGregor though, misunderstanding with Alistair Johnston, puts it into touch for a Feyenoord throw-in on this near side. A win tonight would be huge for Celtic, not in terms of progression this season quite clearly, but 15 Champions League matches without a victory is an unwanted record. 13 games all told in Europe without a win. It's just a rot they could be doing with getting rid of.
Yeah, I mean, the hammer blow for Celtic is that they're out of Europe, they're out of the Champions League, but you know that stat keeps following them around, and it is over a number of different teams and managers and groups of players, but it's the current players that have to deal with it.
There's Paixão flying down the right hand side again, checks his run, challenged by Bernardo, rolls it back to Zerouki at the edge of the box. A misunderstanding there with Calvin Stengs, he can't keep it in play, and that will be a goal kick for Celtic, which Joe Hart's going to take. We'll be looking for what would be a rare clean sheet for Celtic in this competition as well.
Yeah, Liam, I was speaking about, you know, that record, and Celtic, because they're at the bottom of the table, because they've got a point, nobody really cares that they've actually performed well in the games, because people look and say, well, they've been terrible, but they haven't been. So to finish the campaign with a victory means nothing in terms of the final placings, but for the players it shows them that they can win at this level. Okay, Feyenoord have nothing to play for, Celtic have nothing to play for, but Feyenoord are trying to win this game, as are Celtic. So that little moral victory, it will give the players, you know, that good feeling of winning a game in the Champions League, and people then will say, I know you won a game, but it was a dead rubber. The players won't care, because they'll feel what it's like to win a game in the Champions League group stage, and next season, if they get into it, the new iteration of the Champions League, then they can focus on, you know, actually having an impact on it, instead of thinking about, right, we haven't won a game here, we haven't won a Champions League game, we haven't won so many at home since 2013. That goes then, and they've got a chance then to start almost afresh, still with the you know, the thought in mind that results have to be better, they have to be more competitive and win more games.
Looks like next season will be the last one for a while that the Scottish champions will automatically qualify for the Champions League proper. That long ball towards Palma, he's flagged off anyway. That's going to be it would have been a free kick for Feyenoord, but it's back with Bilar, the keeper, so the referee allowing them
Liam, it's
to continue.
A small point, but the last 2 or 3 Feyenoord attacks have gone right to the end, and then the assistants put the flag up. This near side one, straight up. I thought they had to wait.
Little flick for Jimenez, gets a header onto it, he's driving through on Joe Hart. Jimenez shoots, Hart saves, really good save, picked up by Ivanušić. That came from one long ball, and Jimenez was in one-on-one with Hart, but the Celtic keeper stood firm, and it stays nothing each as it breaks back to Timber, who clips the ball in. Down goes Stengs inside the box, he's looking for a penalty, he goes behind for a goal kick. It stays Celtic 0, Feyenoord 0 on 29, but Jimenez was through, and Killian, you're expecting one thing to happen when he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, especially the way I've talked him up as well. But great save from Joe Hart. Really, really important save. It's come at a time when Celtic were a little bit under pressure there. Feyenoord were getting more of a hold on the game, so it's a time when you don't want to concede. Don't think he was offside. I didn't really see how he got in. But yeah, massive save from Joe Hart. Important save. Obviously keeps Celtic in the game.
And here's Kyogo in behind the defender, left hand side. Hansko gets back at him, Kyogo shoots, deflected behind for the corner. Just for a split second it looked like Kyogo Furuhashi was going to be in on Bilar, as Jimenez was up the other end a moment ago.
Yeah, he's getting in, he's making the runs, they're playing the ball to him. Feyenoord are defending his runs well. They're kind of forcing him out wide. He's not getting real clear-cut chances when he is getting in.
It's going to be an in-swinging corner for Luis Palma over on that far side, the Celtic left, as they attack the goal to the right. The French referee Bastien is having a word with Liam Scales, and Zerouki, it looks like they're all over each other inside the box. We've seen plenty of penalties given for the pulling of shirts domestically in recent times. Palma takes the corner, down goes Scales, and Celtic get the penalty. Zerouki complains, he's yellow carded for giving away the spot kick. He was warned, and Scales wins Celtic a penalty on the half hour.
Liam, it's absolute madness, because the referee has just stopped the game to speak to both of them, and as soon as Scales goes back in to Zerouki, he's got both arms out to stop his run. Scales then darts right then left, goes to make the run. Zerouki has a hold of him. I think Liam Scales just throws himself to the ground, but Zerouki's not even looking at the ball. He's only eyes for Liam Scales, and we know that the referees are told if you're not looking at the ball, then they're going to be penalised for it. It is absolute madness from Zerouki. Celtic don't care. Neither Liam Scales doesn't. It's just crazy defending. The referees just warned them for it.
Yeah, I mean, what on earth's he thinking, the defender? What's going through his mind? He's a midfield player, he's defending the corner. Luis Palma's got the ball in his hand, waiting to take. He's going to have to wait a little bit here before the referees finished sorting things out. The Feyenoord players are still complaining. I think they're hoping that VAR's going to bail them out here. It doesn't look like it though. And there's going to be an opportunity here for Luis Palma to give Celtic the lead against the Dutch champions. And what's been a bitterly disappointing Champions League campaign once again for Scotland's champions. But can they finish with a flourish? They haven't won here in the Champions League in over a decade. Haven't won in 15 Champions League outings. It's a British record. They're looking to hit the reset switch here. Here comes Palma, right-footed, scores! That famous Champions League roar lifts up into the skies above Celtic Park in Glasgow's East End as Palma smacks the penalty down the middle, and Celtic have a Champions League lead again at home this season. It's Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0.
That's a nice kill penalty from Luis Palma. The way that he runs up to the ball, he opens his body up as if he's going to reverse it. Bilo dives to his right as if he's going to reverse it, and he just bends it like into the middle of the goal. Looks like he's going to put a bit of whip on it. It almost passes it into the middle of the goal. Such a calm penalty from Palma. And again, I go back to the defending. Crazy decision, it really is. Celtic don't care, and they're in front.
Yeah, great penalty. Calm as you like. This is the test now where Celtic, they've been here before, played well, scored, got ahead. It's now doing this until the end of the game.
And Joe Hart almost filled a cross which came in from the centre. There was an attack down the right, fired in. Hart holds on to it the second time of asking and bowls it short to Scales. Yes, they led against Lazio, they lost. They led twice against Atletico, they drew. Costly points dropped here on their own patch. If they got the draw even out of Lazio and had they held on to beat Atletico, things could have been so different. As Stengs drives forward for Feyenoord, slipping through, looking for Jimenez, it might break their Paixão. Hart comes across, holds on, smothers at the feet of Igor Paixão, and it stays 1-0 to Celtic with 11 minutes of the first half to play.
Yeah, Hart sharp off his line there, closed them down well. Going back to the penalty, although they've won the penalty from the corner, they've got the corner from good attacking play. It's Kyogo making that run, and they're actually feeding him the ball. Like we said, he's going to keep making it. It's always going to be on. They know, like, if they're under a bit of pressure or they're getting pressed and stuff isn't happening, they know Kyogo has that out ball, and it's going to be a good run.
They put themselves in a winning position again at Celtic Park. 1-1 at half-time, incidentally, at Gayfield in the Championship. Connolly and Hilton trading goals as Feyenoord come through. Timber, Jimenez, saved by Hart. Timber on the rebound, blocked. Zerouki at the edge of the area, his effort blocked as well. And then Palma volleys it back towards his own goal and behind for the corner. Yeah. It's a mad phase of play there. It's all ended in a Feyenoord corner. It's been a good response by the Dutch champions to going behind.
He tries to hook it, Palma, over his shoulder. He gets it all wrong and puts it closer to Joe Hart's goal than the Feyenoord goal, that's for sure. But brilliant first save from Joe Hart. Tremendous block followed up by Callum McGregor. And Celtic managed to defend that situation pretty well, although it was self-inflicted.
Jimenez denied by Hart again. In-swinging corner for Feyenoord, and it comes as a header over the bar. It's come off a Celtic head though. Might have been Scales. And that's going to be a corner on the other side, on this near side this time, for Feyenoord, who are already wildly knocking on the Celtic door, having just gone behind to that Palma penalty.
Yeah, great defending there by Scales. Feyenoord looked like it was something they've worked on. They had about 4 or 5 bodies just coming back out, and then all of them making making really aggressive attacking runs. Scales thought he done very well to get a good header on it, and it was one of those who was whipped in around the goal. It could have went anywhere. He's done well to get a good connection and keep it out.
Stengs will take the corner on this near side. Outswinger with the left this time into the Celtic box. It comes off a Celtic head. Will break outside the area as the rookie's going to get onto it. First time right foot. Loops the ball back into the area. Headed away by Welsh, who goes down. He's won the free kick as well. He was caught inside his own box. That just relieves some of the pressure. Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0.
That's a really good header from Stephen Welsh, because the rookie picks up the ball wide on the right hand side. It's a high floated looping cross to the back post. Feyenoord have the overload at that back post. Welsh is running backwards at full stretch. He knows that if he gets something on it, he might take a sore one, and he does. He takes one in the back of the head, but it's tremendous defending.
Now, can Celtic keep a clean sheet? They've only kept 13 clean sheets in their 71 Champions League group matches. Here's Kyogo knocking it through up the other end for O'Reilly. Into the box he goes, but the keeper Bilal comes and meets him and just gathers at the feet of the now Danish international. And it's Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0 on 37.5 minutes in Glasgow.
It's nearly a tremendous goal, Liam. Ball comes up to Kyogo, flicks it outside to Palmer, who flicks it back to Kyogo, and then the pass is just a little bit short for Matt O'Reilly. Mikey Johnston was at the back post unmarked as well, but that would have been some goal.
There's been a few times that Mikey Johnson has been free coming in after. I don't know if he's maybe staying out too wide, and then it's kind of at the final minute when it's too late, then he's kind of putting his hands up like to be just square it to me, but he's not there just quite early enough, I don't think.
I think as well, you need to know your players. It's Kyogo, then, you know, he'd have to bend it all the way to the back post.
Truda's ball through, James, stabbed away by Scales. They do come forward with menace. They look a bit shaky at the back. Feyenoord though, it is picked up on the far side by Bernardo, who turns it back to Taylor. And infield to Scales. They've been a little bit hit or miss from the spot this season. Celtic, they've missed 3 penalties. Palma missed one. They're failed with one against Motherwell here a couple of weeks ago, but it was a great penalty from him as the long ball forward by Bernardo's headed clear here by Bielen and picked up in the midfield by Timber, who finds Ivanušić, who turns it out to the right hand side for Paixão. Midway inside Celtic territory, turns it back to Zaruki, who gave away the penalty, and turns it to the left of the centre circle for Hansko. Angled ball with the left foot, it's good, out to Paixão on the far side. He'll attack Taylor, it's the early cross ball in, away by Scales again. He's done well tonight, Liam Scales. He was actually man of the match the last time Celtic won a European game against Real Betis a couple of years ago, who Rangers will face tomorrow in the Europa League. It was in that competition as well, a 3-2 victory right at the end of the group. And it's Feyenoord in possession over on the right hand side, and they've come back into their own half.
Yeah, lovely play from Feyenoord there. Lovely bit of the pass out from midfield to the winger there was brilliant. We were right behind it, and then the wings take a touch, great ball, and you've got Jimenez coming across. Like you said, Scales has done brilliantly to get ahead of him.
There's Timber shuffling onto his right foot in the attacking third to the edge of the penalty area. It's rolled back to Stengs, looking for space to shoot. Drags it back onto the left. It's a clip ball. It's intelligent. Ivanušić, left hand side of the box. His cross takes a deflection and goes behind, and Feyenoord have a corner as we move into the final 5 minutes of an action-packed first half, you would have to say. Celtic protecting this 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Feyenoord are wanting it well up to, you know, in and around the box, but Celtic, I have to say, are defending it well. Forcing them back. They get to the edge of the box, they're playing a backward pass, then it's a little clip to the back post, and Celtic are defending it, but they've got a big corner to defend here.
It was Dutch opposition the last time Celtic won a Champions League game here, and they beat Ajax. They've played Ajax more than any other side from the Netherlands, and it's a Feyenoord corner.
I wouldn't be surprised to see one of the Feyenoord players take a little tumble here.
Looking to reciprocate. In comes the corner, it's flicked towards the near post and then cleared by Welsh. Feyenoord come again. Paixão rolling it to Stengs, takes a touch left hand side of the box. His cross is cut out by McGregor, breaks to Ivanušić, who wildly volleys it well wide with the right, past the right hand post. Goal kick Celtic, taken quickly by Hart to Scales and out to Taylor on the far side. Forward to Bernardo, first time ball, he was looking for Palma, but he was in an offside position. He's not getting onto it anyway, and he goes behind for a Feyenoord goal kick. 1-0 Celtic.
Yeah, he didn't trust his pace there, Paulo Bernardo, did he? The ball was, again, another quick pass, inside run for the midfielder, right up the line. Balen was coming across. I think he's just got to protect it. You can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to flick it round. I think by that point it was O'Reilly was maybe offside anyway. Just protect the ball. You've managed to gain 60, 70 yards. Just keep the ball and try and build your attack from there.
Yeah, I think he's probably just thinking of getting to half-time himself. Just get a second breath. Like I was saying, he's come in the first half into a game like this as well. It's not any game.
Yeah, they've worked it well down the left, Celtic, and they won themselves another corner. The penalty they were awarded came the last time they had a corner out there. Scales and Zerouki again are the two. In comes Palma's corner, beaten away by Bilal at his near post with both fists. Bernardo gets the head onto it, finds Mikey Johnston wide left of the Feyenoord box, digs out the cross, way too close to the keeper, and Bilal holds on. Remains 1-0 Celtic on 42. It's 2-0 Atletico Madrid now. Mario Hermoso adding to the Antoine Griezmann opener. Atletico 2, Lazio 0, and it's looking like the Spaniards will be winning the group. Not that Celtic care about that anymore. They have a 1-0 lead though, looking to at least better last season's points tally, which was 2. Win this, they go to 4. And Stengs picks up at the right angle of the Celtic box, out to Paixão wide, first time Gertruda to Stengs. Gertruda continues his run, it's played into Ivanusic, and then Gertruda hits the post! Half away, still alive Hartman. Left hand side at the byline, twists the ball back with the left foot, down goes Paixão in the box. He's wanting a penalty. It was Palma who's the covering Celtic player. Palma picks it up wide on that far side and runs into Gertruda, who so very nearly level this game. It stays Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0 with 2 to play of the opening 45.
Yeah, that's where Feyenoord look their most dangerous, in around the box. They're playing the little 1-2s, scoops over the defenders. Like Fadi was saying earlier, the Celtic have been defending them really well, but when they play it like that on the ground, little 1-2s, third man running everywhere, it's if a team does that properly, you can't defend against it.
Well, they almost scored, didn't they? It was brilliant play, you have to say, getting into the box, and the post saved Celtic, but they managed to clear it again.
You're going to cough up chances at this level. It doesn't matter how good you are, even the best teams cough up chances in the Champions League. Joe Hart with a couple of saves, the post bailing them out on that occasion as Mikey Johnston battles for it on the near side. Alistair Johnston takes over and is brought down by Timber. That's a free kick, and that's going to be a yellow card for the Feyenoord number 8. He hasn't got a single word of complaint about that, and Celtic have a free kick in the attacking third here on this right hand side in the final minute of the opening 45. They lead 1-0. Can they grab a second before the interval? They took it quickly there. The ref wasn't ready though.
I think the referee's been very good. He's let a lot of little things go that sometimes they get given, and it can be frustrating and kill a game, but he's let a lot of things go where the games continue to flow. And apart from like that was a clear foul anyway, like there was no debating in that.
40-year-old Benoit Bastien in charge tonight, Frenchman. It's an all-French official lineup, including the video assistants. Palma over the Celtic free kick. It's about 6 yards from this near side touchline, beyond the midway point of the Feyenoord half. 2 minutes added. Palma takes, bends it into that corridor of uncertainty where there's no takers. The referee's actually blown his whistle, and Feyenoord will have a free kick. We are in the first of 2 minutes, being added on in stoppages at the end of the first half. Matchday 6 in the Champions League. Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0. Here's a chance for Feyenoord down that right hand side with Jimenez, the centre forward, out wide right, trying to evade Scales. He's away from him, he's brought down. Free kick Feyenoord, level with the Celtic 6. Might be a card coming here as well, and Greg Taylor is the latest to be booked. You wouldn't think there was nothing riding in the outcome of this game tonight.
No, it's a, Kelly mentioned it right at the start, it's a Champions League game. Feyenoord and Celtic, looking at Lazio qualifying, will be thinking, it could have been them, because there's not much in it, and it's a competitive game. Players want to win. There's no way you can tell a player like nothing's riding on tonight, just go and enjoy yourself and relax. You can't do it. You listen to the crowds as well. Feyenoord have brought an incredible travelling support. Celtic fans have been excellent as well. So the players know they're in a game, even if the fans, weren't behind them, but they certainly are, and that's no less than you expect in a game like this.
That second Atletico goal, incidentally, has been ruled out for offside after the VAR check, so it remains 1-0 Atletico against Lazio. Feyenoord have a free kick. Can Celtic survive this? Creeping towards half-time. We're well into the second minute of 2 that were added, but there'll be some time on top of that, I would have thought, for the length of time this has taken the referee to sort out. Free kick, Feyenoord level with the Celtic 6, couple of yards from the right-hand side of the penalty area. 2 over it, 2-man wall, and it comes bent towards goal. Hart punches it behind for the corner at the near post, and it stays Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0. Celtic just trying to get through these final few seconds that remain in the first half.
Yeah, it's whipped towards that near post. I actually think Joe Hart can catch that one straight at him. Now they need to defend the corner. When if he catches it, takes the pressure off.
Well, they conceded so late in the first half in Rotterdam, didn't they? Celtic. Stengs with the corner, headed away by Kyogo at the near post. Zerouki tries to head it towards the box, but there is the half-time whistle, and Celtic have a lead again at home in this Champions League section. They've spilled points from winning positions 3 times this season to Lazio, and then on a couple of occasions to Atletico earlier on in this group, match days 2 and 3. The Luis Palmas penalty after Liam Scales was hauled to the deck by Zerouki is what separates the teams just now, but they've had to withstand serious pressure since that goal went in. Jimenez has had a few opportunities. Joe Hart's made a couple of saves here. Trudas hit the post, and it was a couple of nervy moments for the Celtic defence, but they've largely been pretty good from open play. Scales and Welsh won't have played too often together, but they've been excellent at the heart of that defence. Palmas penalty was right down the middle, was perfectly executed, and what's been a relatively even game across the board. But it's Celtic who have the lead as they look for a much needed Champions League victory. They're halfway to doing that. Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0.
Celtic in the Champions League.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
The award-winning series Vigil returns.
The weapons they're developing, the drones, this is how the regime clings to power.
Murder at a military airbase. Medic! And a brand new investigation.
How do you go about accusing people of being traitors? They've had experience working with the military before. This is different.
Starring Suran Jones and Rose Leslie.
I'm a police detective! Put down your weapon!
Vigil. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Champions League action for you this evening. A very positive first half there for Celtic. Luis Palma with a goal on 33 minutes from the penalty spot. They had a couple of scares, but so far so good for Brendan Rodgers' side. In the other game in the group, Atletico Madrid 2, Lazio 0. Antoine Griezmann on 6 minutes, Mario Hermoso on 38 minutes. One game in the Championship this evening. It is Arbroath 1, Wraith Rovers 1. Aidan Connolly had Rovers ahead on 19 minutes. Jermaine Hilton from the penalty spot on 30 drew Arbroath level. Tom English is alongside me in the studio. What have you made of that first half performance from Celtic? In the majority of their games in the Champions League this season, they've actually performed very well.
Yeah, I think they have. Yeah, I think the second Atletico Madrid was chalked off, by the way. So it's only one.
Oh, it's been chopped off.
Yeah, right? I think so. I think Liam said that in commentary. Look, they're 1-0 up. It's a good half. It's a good, decent half from Celtic. They've got the lead again in the Champions League. They need to protect it this time. They're up against a side that are playing these lovely little one-touches, 1-2s, dangerous in around the box. Jimenez looks lethal. They've hit the post. They've had the ball in the back of Celtic's net. It was offside. They're a big threat. They're a big threat, but Celtic have the lead, and it's a decent game. It's a good game, given that in inverted commas, there's nothing riding on it. Of course, there's something riding on it.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that Feyenoord would have this kind of intensity, because their job is done. They're through to the Europa League. but they've come here to play. As Faddy says, they've come here to play and come here to win because they have an intensity about them, which just surprised me slightly.
It's a very open game, as you say, an enjoyable game to watch. A couple of scary moments, some big gaps in the centre of that Celtic defence.
Yeah, I mean the one that was offside, Jimenez. I mean, he's right through the middle, huge gap between the two centre halves, and it's a brilliant finish from Jimenez, but it's offside. And then there's another, 7 minutes after that. It's a long ball, and Jimenez through, brilliant shot, brilliant save from Joe Hart. So, and then there's the Geertruida one off the inside of the post.
Yeah. 3
big scares for Celtic. They're going to have to tighten up at the back. I think there's too much space at the back between the centre halves. They're going to have to. I mean, it's rookie pairing. I mean, they can't have played too much together, these two guys. So it's a bit challenging half, but they've got the lead, so they're in a positive place.
What have you made, Faddy, of that first half performance from Celtic?
Oh, first off, there's a big gap in the back, but he's a mile offside. So, if the defenders recognise where he is and the defensive line's good, then
Faddy?
You have to say it's good defending. So I think Celtic have actually defended well, because when you look at it, the fact that Stephen Welsh has played 45 minutes this season, it doesn't look like it. I think they've performed well, the back line. I think Greg Taylor's defended well at the same time, and I think look, Feyenoord are a good side. There's no getting away from that. When they get into the final third, they do look dangerous, but for the most part, Celtic have defended well when they've had to. Now, if you're going to have players that play the ball quick and move quick, they're good. They're good players. They are going to get chances. But I think overall, Celtic have defended well. I think they started the game really well, and all the talk before when I was telling you about the slow build-up and Celtic like to keep possession. Well, that's a different side we're seeing tonight, because they're getting the ball forward, they're getting their head up, they're not thinking about it, they're just playing it in behind when it's on, and exploiting gaps in the Feyenoord defence. Celtic have been in positions where maybe a better pass, just a little bit off the pass, or a better decision, and they could be further in front. I think it's been a good performance, considering all the talk about it being a dead rubber, about Celtic being I wouldn't say crisis, but not being in a good place at the minute, off the back of the performance and result of the weekend, off the back of the fact that they are bottom of the Champions League, and they will be bottom of the Champions League group. I think they've performed very well.
Yeah, the intensity is definitely there this evening, isn't it, Killian? And there was one move actually down the left-hand side. It was a terrific move that they almost finished off. They've looked really sharp in the first half, Celtic.
Yeah, no, they've been very good on the ball going forward. They've had a real purpose going forward in their attacks. They're not afraid to play the passes early, try and get Johnston and Kyogo in behind them. They're doing that from much deeper than they have been previously. Like Faddy was saying, there isn't that much of the slow build-up that we've been seeing so far this season. Even from as soon as the ball goes out, Joe Hart is just similar to when Andrew's here. He's getting the ball straight away, and Celtic are trying to get back playing and start attacks as soon as they can, and on top of that, try and get forward as quickly as they can as well. I think in terms of the defending in the first half, I agree with Faddy. I think they've actually done all right. Feyenoord are a good team attacking. It's when they get up into that final third, they've good players. When they connect a few 1-2s and they're playing in and around Celtic, that's hard to defend in any scenario, especially when it's Liam Scales and Stephen Welch, who haven't played a lot together at this level either. I think they've coped with it. There's been one or two where, maybe they've gifted slight chances where it's been slack passing or maybe just a little mistake, but other than that, I think they've been quite steady. There hasn't been, I wouldn't really be sitting here and panicking and worrying about the second half in terms of it's like a goal is going to be coming no matter what. Like it's a matter of time. I don't really get the feeling from watching it from up here.
I don't know, lads. Watching it in here, I'm looking at their chances. I don't know, Faddy, you're saying it was a mile offside the Feyenoord goal. It wasn't actually.
It wasn't. It was tight.
It was reasonably tight. So that was one. Then there was a long ball, Jimenez through Rasper of a shot, well saved by Hart. Then there was another good save from Hart from Jimenez and a block by McGregor from Timber. Then there was a one off the inside of the post from Geertruida. I mean, that's five moments, you know. And again, look, Feyenoord are a good side, but I think Celtic were hanging on a little bit at moments in that half.
Yeah, I mean, they were defending more towards the end of the half, and that's natural because, you know, first of all, they're in front, and Feyenoord are, you know, pressing to get that equaliser before the break. I just think, look, we mentioned how we were looking forward to seeing Jimenez, and I felt as though in the first game in Rotterdam, Feyenoord were really missing a striker. A lot of their play was really good. Again, they get into dangerous situations, but they didn't have that striker either as a focal point or the bounce off. You can see what Jimenez brings to the side. He brings the other players into play. But I think mostly based on the chat before the game and how Welsh is in and Scales and how they're going to fare, I would say they've fared pretty well. They are going to get chances, of course they are. The one where Joe Hart makes a save and at the near post, Cal McGregor follows up with a block is through Celtic's possession because they try and, you know, force a pass. But look, you're going to have to take risks, and then you're going to be exposed at times, and that has been Celtic's downfall. They have been able to come up with a big save or a big block, but they've done it tonight.
We also spoke, Killian, about Kyogo before the game. This looks far more like his type of match this evening.
Yeah, he looks to be really enjoying it, that he's getting the runs he's making, he's getting the passes. I mentioned that I think Feyenoord have defended him well as a whole. They've kept his runs, and anytime he's getting in, they're letting him run wide when the ball's played. He's getting very difficult chances where he's having to play, like if he's going to square it to someone, to Johnson who's coming in late, he's having to play it blind, and it's one of those where we can see after the fact of it. But I think, as like we keep saying, Celtic are willing to play that passes forward into him a lot earlier than what they have been doing previously. And it goes back to that again. Just they've been in good positions a few times where just that final ball, little bit of composure in or around the box, even like crossing into the box. You can see if you can. There's been chances where Celtic have had 2 or 3 bodies in the box, and Alistair Johnson once or twice hasn't. He's just. It feels like he's just willing to just put a ball into the box rather than really put it in to pick someone out. When you see the Feyenoord players, when they're putting balls in, you can see they've been crossing with a real purpose. I just feel like they've been missing that a little bit. But I think as a whole, the first half probably even enough, I would say. So I wouldn't come in and be like, yes, Celtic deserve to be 1-0 up. It's a mad penalty to give away from the Feyenoord perspective. Feyenoord have had chances, but I don't think it's been a case of like it's not a smash and grab at all from Celtic. I think if anything, I'd rate it as a pretty even half.
You're right, Killian. The penalty is ridiculous, especially since the rookie was spoken to just before, and then he kind of throws his arm around Scales' neck, and I mean, he's just asking for a penalty to be given against you. And fair play to Palmer, a lot of pressure on him, puts it away. Kyogo's working extremely hard. He must be also frustrated. He hasn't had a sniff of a chance. They haven't managed to create a proper chance for him, you know.
But at least they look like they can create one for him.
Yeah.
I think that's the intensity's there tonight, isn't it?
The intensity, the speed of play, speed of thought, all that kind of stuff is good. It's on point, as they say. But you just like to see him get a chance. Yeah. You know, just give the guy a chance.
I know Palma's scored the penalty. I think attacking he can do a lot better. I don't think he's had the best game from an attacking point of view. I think if he lifted a little bit as well when he's coming inside, it helps Kyogo a lot more when he's coming in on his right, and he can play those little slide passes that Kyogo likes. I think that could make a big difference in the second half.
Guys, talk to us about Mikey Johnson. We hear so often the potential this boy's got, and we can see it in flashes. What does he need to do to become a regular in the Celtic team? Do you think he's got a realistic chance of doing that when the squad is back together, when the injured players are back in the team?
It depends how he does between now and then, Kenny. I think that at the start of the game, he gets the ball, and look, I love it because who am I to tell anybody about decision making? He wants to go and beat men straight away. He wants to beat men straight away. First time he picks it up, he drives inside. They take it off him. He shows a good reaction to win it back. Next time he tries again. So it's just about when you come off the bench, you need to go and create something as quick as you can, because you might only have 10-15 minutes. So that first chance you create might be the chance that makes a difference. But when you start the game, you need to play your way in, you know, earn the right to play almost, and it doesn't have to be a rush. Look, if you've got a chance you're 1v1, of course go and take it, but you can play your way in, just take a touch, get a feel of the ball, lay it off, just mix. There needs to be more variety in your game when you start a game, because defenders have got 90 minutes to figure you out, and if you keep going and trying to take them on, they can just go tight and almost take the ball off you before you've even got a chance. So he just needs to bring a bit of variation along with some consistency to his game. I thought that he actually recovered well, and there was moments in the half again where the link-up play between himself and Alistair Johnston was pretty good, and the opportunities maybe to play each other in were there. So it's just about, you know, bringing a bit of variation to your game and bringing a bit of consistency. And a couple of occasions he's managed to get himself into the back post. You know, Kellen pointed out maybe it's just a little bit late, but at least he's seen that he has to get there. So I think just more of that for Mikey Johnston, and then to him.
I think one of the problems, Sadie, potentially, is that Brendan Rodgers called him out quite publicly a few weeks ago. Maybe Mikey Johnston is just kind of trying too hard to impress.
Yeah, I've been there, Tom. I think that is a great point, because you're getting a chance, you're playing, the manager's calling you out, telling you he needs more, and as long as he's telling him what he needs more of, I don't see a problem with it. But when you're playing and maybe not getting the same kind of feedback, and you're guessing and you don't know what you need more of, then you can overcomplicate it. And it looks like, you know, Brendan is speaking to him because he's giving him opportunities to play, and hopefully we see the best of him.
So far so good for Celtic. Time now for the second half. Celtic against Feyenoord in the group stage of the Champions League, with James McFadden, Killian Sheridan and Liam McLeod.
In the last act of group stage Champions League football here at Celtic Park. Barcelona have been beaten here memorably. Milan, Shakhtar, Manchester United, Benfica, Juventus have all been beaten in Champions League group matches here. And Celtic's first involvement in it at the turn of the century. It's provided some memorable nights as Feyenoord kick off the second half, left to right in their change colours, the blue and navy, Celtic in the green and white hoops, of course. Celtic shooting right to left as we watch from the main stand towards the Jock Stein stand in the second half, as they tend to do. No changes for either team, or no further changes for Celtic to bring Bernardo on for Iwata in that first half. It's Feyenoord pick up with Bilal over on the far side. The group stage replaced by a league phase from next season. There'll be plenty of time to discuss that in the months to come, as the awkward bounce for Welsh. Oh, and it goes back into the grateful arms of Joe Hart. And here Truda found himself in a position he probably didn't think likely at one point in that move. He was through on the goalkeeper, but the bounce favoured the Celtic number one, and it stays 1-0 in the opening minute of the second half to the Scottish champions.
Yeah, not the start Celtic wanted, especially given the history in this group they've had, where they've been playing well and then just throwing leads away and throwing away good performances from just little slack mistakes like that. So it's not the best start to kind of settle the nerves for the second half. So I think they just need to, for the next few minutes, just kind of keep things steady, take risks out of it, don't give anything away, and just kind of settle things for the next few minutes, I think.
Hart in goal for Celtic. Johnston, or Alistair Johnston, was booked in the first half as right back, with Welsh and Scales in the middle. Greg Taylor, who was also booked in the first half at left back. O'Reilly, McGregor, Bernardo, Palma and Mikey Johnston with Kyogo. It is Paulo Bernardo for Celtic, forward to Taylor in that inverted position, flicks it with the outside of the beat out to Palma. Kyogo's gone down off the ball. Palma continues though, left hand side up against Truda, left foot cross in towards the back end of the penalty. There's nobody there in green and white, and it's collected by Ivanušić on that far side, and he clears it up the line, but only as far as Welsh. Slips it into the feet of Bernardo. Now it's with McGregor out to Alistair Johnston on that right hand side. Infield to McGregor, back to the edge of the centre circle for Scales. Scales short to McGregor, the skipper. Forward to Alistair Johnston, digs it out back to Welsh, right of the centre circle. Side football to Taylor. He's come into that central midfield position. Alistair Johnston out to the right hand side, and Mikey Johnston will attack the fullback. Hartman gets the early cross in. Kyogo misses it. Palmer's there! Oh, he's hit the post! Or has the keeper got a touch? He has. The keeper, Bilal, got a touch to that, and it's going to be a Celtic corner. And it stays Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0.
That's an incredible save. An incredible save. It's really good play down the right hand side. The ball's flashed across. Kyogo can't get there. I thought Palmer was going to hit it first time. Takes a touch. Then I'm expecting him to whip it far post. He reverses it near. Balo gets his right foot out and turns it round the post. An incredible save.
Mikey Johnston from the short corner along the 18-yard line, rolls it to Taylor, who shoots. It's blocked. They're interested to see where that was going. McGregor on the follow-up. Bieler holds on. And it stays Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0 on 48 minutes. Killian, it was that incredible a save. I thought it hit the woodwork.
Yeah, he's done brilliantly, the goalkeeper. Same as Fadi, I thought when it got flashed across, it was set up for Palmer just to hit it first time. I thought when he didn't hit it that the chance had gone, but he's taken a brilliant touch. And I think the defender thought he was going to hit it as well. He's taken a brilliant touch, and like we were saying, the keeper's made a brilliant save. I thought it was makes you feel bad. I thought it was the woodwork as well. So
thank goodness for that.
He's one I shot in my glasses.
It's a long way away. I'm not getting any younger, Faddy.
You can see why.
You've got the nice glasses on now. You see, that's making the difference.
It was just because you're thinking it's in.
There's no way you can save that.
How's it stayed out?
Yeah.
You're right. I still thought it saved it, but I can understand why you two thought it was a post.
It's easy for him to say it after the corner was given, of course. That's when he came in. Anyway, Celtic still lead 1-0, very nearly 2. Scales drives forward into Feyenoord territory on this near side. Low ball out to Palma. The little back heel looks good when it finds a teammate. It didn't, but Taylor might get onto the scraps here. It's turned back to the goalkeeper by Zerouki, and Bila clears up to halfway. Alistair Johnston gets onto it on the right, looking for Mikey Johnston. It's back with the Canadian over on the far side. And into Mikey Johnston, did so well. Alistair Johnston there. O'Reilly into the path of Alistair Johnston again. Now Mikey Johnston on the spin, but he's lost out to Zerouki this time, and Feyenoord get it clear up towards Paixão, who cuts in field, central position in the centre circle, and rolls it low to the left for Stengs. Stengs in field for Timber, forward to Paixão. First time to Stengs, good build up, pulled back towards the penalty spot, ricochets off a couple of Celtic players, and how's your luck? Comes off Bernardo and straight back to Joe Hart, and stays Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0.
Feyenoord just showing, the quality. Couple of passes, we're down the left-hand side, flashed across. Greg Taylor tries to clear it, comes off the head of Paulo Bernardo and safely into the hands of Joe Hart.
Yeah, I mean, Feyenoord look dangerous, but you just feel there's more goals in this for Celtic as well.
The thing is with that, the chance for Feyenoord has come from a good Celtic attack as well, that looked a bit promising. Mikey Johnston done really well. Then probably, like you're saying, maybe got caught up trying to do a little bit too much.
I think it was maybe just passed behind him. Alistair Johnston does brilliant, plays the 1-2, runs down the side. Mikey Johnston just almost offering a bit of support, expecting him to flash it, and I think he just plays it a little bit behind him, but then he tries to do the skill to get himself out of trouble. Look, that's Mikey Johnston. That's the type of player he is. He's tricky, he's skillful, he can do things off the cuff. It's just at times when that doesn't come off, people maybe look and say, "Oh, just take a normal touch," but it's so natural to him.
Yeah, again, he needs that to come off one time in the game, and then he's had a brilliant game, doesn't he?
These two clubs intrinsically linked, of course. 1970 European Cup final with the names of Janssen, Van Hooijdonk, Larsson all spring to mind when you think of Celtic and Feyenoord. It's going to be a change for the Dutch champions in a moment. Might be more than one, might be more than two actually. Get to that in a moment. Picked up by Timber, rolls it in field to Stengs. Then Zerouki. Stengs is caught by McGregor. Play on, says the French referee. Might revisit that. Zerouki runs into Bernardo, has to turn back towards his own goal and finds here Truda. Right to left of the centre circle for Hansko. Out to the left-hand side, the early ball comes in from Hartman, but it's too close to Hart. It was a low ball into the middle, and it evades Jimenez, and Hart holds on and bowls it quickly short to Scales. Scales now at pace. He's run into trouble, but the break of the ball favours Callum McGregor, who kind of panically puts it out for a throw into Feyenoord on this near side. And they get to their changes in just a moment. I think there's going to be 3 for Feyenoord. And Zerouki goes back into his own half for Hansko. It is 1-0 Celtics, 52 and a half on the clock here on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland. Extra 810 medium wave on digital and online. 20 to play at Gayfield. Arbroath still 1-1 with Raith Rovers, and that would be a blow to Rovers' title challenge.
They love a late goal though, Liam.
Don't they just? Demonstrated again against Partick Thistle last Friday. We'll keep you up to date with that as we go along. It's 1-0 in the other game in Group E between Atletico and Lazio. The home team 1-0 up. It's Feyenoord clear the ball at Celtic. I think they're going to get a free kick for an off-the-ball challenge. They're inside the centre circle.
Zerouki was just a little bit late on Callum McGregor.
Well, let's get the changes out the road as Paixão prepares to come off, and it's going to be Mats Wiefer who's coming on to replace him. They're also going to take on Thomas van den Belt. These look like all like-for-like changes. And Stengs will come off, Van den Belt will replace him. And the other change is Nkuba Minte, who featured on Matchday 1 against Celtic. So a triple change for the visitors. And we wait to see if it has the desired effect for Arne Slot down there. He's obviously not happy. He's obviously said to his players, I'll give you 10 minutes to try and impress me in the second half, and it's not happened. Timber's the third player to come off.
Yeah, I think Paixão's really struggled. I think Greg Taylor's handled him really well. Minte is a total different proposition. He's got real pace and energy and power, and he will make runs off the side as well and support Jimenez. So I'm not surprised with the Paixão one. Different challenge for Greg Taylor. I thought Minte looked dangerous without being really effective in the quality around the box. But he looks like he's going to be a talent, young player as well, loads of development in him.
Celtic made that change in the first half, enforced though. Iwata replaced by Bernardo. Another injury for a Celtic midfielder. Down the right comes Celtic. Mikey Johnston, they're 1-0 up. Mikey Johnston to the box, drags the ball back onto his left side, forced away from goal. Gives it to Alistair Johnston, straight back to the Celtic number 90. Mikey Johnston, just how big will his Celtic redemption arc be? We shall see. Callum McGregor, was he tripped? No free kick for Celtic, throw in only to Feyenoord over on the far side, which they've taken quickly to Hansko. The big Slovakian lofts it forward, cut out by Welsh, he fires it back into Feyenoord territory. Chance here potentially though for Zerouki to pick it up in the centre circle. He rolls it to his right, and now Gertruda is on his bike driving up towards the edge of the Celtic box. Good challenge by Welsh, breaks back to Zerouki. Left hand side of the box, Feyenoord coming forward with menace. It's fired in, it's blocked by Hart, and then at the edge of the area the shot from Van den Belt is deflected wide for the corner. It's better from Feyenoord, they just flicked into life. It stays though, Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0.
It is, but it's a good block from Stephen Welsh. Gertruda making his way from right back all the way infield. Great block, then it drops to the edge of the box. And Paulo Bernardo, another one with a good block on the edge of the box on Van den Belt.
In comes the corner towards the near post, headed away by McGregor. It wasn't a great delivery, to be fair, from Minte on this near side. He's going to throw in level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box on the main stand side as they attack the Lisbon line stand.
Yeah, moments like that when the attack breaks down for Celtic and Feyenoord regain the ball, that first pass into midfield, they're taking up really good positions, and then they're turning and they're in on Celtic straight away. They're nearly on a 4v4 nearly every time that they're getting through the midfield.
Nkuba Minte on this near side, he's 19, he's on loan from Newcastle. He's a player seemingly with a very bright future. And one of the three subs who came on there. There's Gertruda on the right hand side, dinks the ball forward down the right, cut out by Taylor. Taylor comes away with it for Celtic, finds O'Reilly, who's wearing the gloves, combating against the chilly Glasgow early winter evening here, as Scales picks up under pressure from Jimenez and goes back to Joe Hart. A couple of touches inside his box and dinks it out to that right hand side for Alistair Johnston. faced by Vandenbelt. Up the line for Mikey Johnston. He's running back towards his own goal, and it wasn't a great touch, but Celtic pinch it back through Alistair Johnston. Back to the edge of his own box for Welsh, who made an important defensive intervention just in the previous opportunity that came for Wefer. Was at the edge of the area after the subs all had a hand in it. As Welsh goes back to Hart, first time with the right foot. Up high into the air it goes, over to that far side. Mikey Johnston can't keep it in play, and that's going to be a throw-in over there to Feyenoord. To Killian are seeing a heck of a lot of the ball in Celtic territory right now. 58 on the clock. Celtic still protecting this 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I think Celtic need to be careful when they're on the ball. They seem to just be taking a bit longer on it, and they're almost inviting pressure and onto them. They're a few times if there's a bit of space opening up for them, they're tending to being sucked into trying to dribble, and if they have time, they feel like they're continue to dribble instead of moving the ball like Brendan Rodgers wants them to do it that way, to play with that intensity, and rather than moving with the ball, they're just kind of, I think they've just been sucked into just taking a little bit too long.
It's a shot deflected, it goes wide. It was Feyenoord with the opportunity right at the edge of the penalty area. It was hit towards goal. It's taken a wild deflection, but it's gone past the post, and Celtic safe for now. Feyenoord corner, right in front of that bustling away section off to our right. 2-0 Atletico, incidentally. I think they're going to be winning the group now. Samuel Lino gets their second after Griezmann opened the scoring in the first half. In comes the corner. It's dreadful from Minte again, and it's sliced away on the 6-yard line by Celtic. And it's going to go out of play for a throw-in this time on this near side. Minte bowling it back, and then Bilen switching it to Hansko right at the centre circle in the Celtic half, out to Minte on this near side. Keeps it in play, clips it into the box. No, he didn't keep it in play. Goal kick's been given and just gone over the line, and it stays Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0. We're knocking on the hour mark here at Celtic Park.
Yeah, Celtic are just knocking the ball about the back, trying to look for that opportunity to play it forward. They've lost the kind of speed and zip that they had at the start of the first half, and it's understandable because but I haven't said that, they look really comfortable when they're on the ball.
It's a foul by Minte and a yellow card as well for the Feyenoord sub for a late challenge on Taylor.
Greg Taylor's been excellent tonight, he really has. He's come in for a lot of criticism this season. I think he's been excellent tonight.
He's overcome that in the past at Celtic, hasn't he, Greg Taylor?
Yeah, he's defended really well, and even there, like breaking into the midfield, taking the ball in some tough positions, driving through, taking on players. He's been very brave in an attacking sense as well. More importantly, obviously, defending, he has been very, very impressive.
Just over 10 minutes left at Gayfield. It remains Arbroath 1, Raith Rovers 1 in the Championship. Connolly on 19 for the Rovers. Hilton 11 minutes later from the penalty spot. 1-1. Jim McIntyre need to register a point that would take them off the bottom of the table and put Queen's Park there. And Rovers would be level on points with Dundee United on 34, but they'd have played a game more than Jim Goodwin's side. Free kick Celtic to be taken by Liam Scales. Taylor's okay. And we receive some treatment. It's back with Scales here. Low ball into the feet of O'Reilly. And his pass is behind Palma and out for a throw-in on the near side. Celtic cannot get going in the second half.
There's a really good pass from Liam Scales, firm straight up into Matt O'Reilly. He's got a man on him. Palma's looking for the ball in behind, but I think it's impossible for Matt O'Reilly to get it to him. He just needs to hold his position, maybe play a little bounce pass. And I'm saying, you know, Celtic have to get back to playing those balls in behind, but only when it's on. You can't make a run if you're never going to get the ball.
Zaruki slips away from O'Reilly, slipping it forward, and it is Feyenoord in possession over on that left-hand side with Ivanusic. Forward it comes. Wefer can't get onto it. Celtic get it away, and then they're forcing Feyenoord back inside their own half. And it's Hansko switching it to Bilen. Forward to Vandenbelt. First time to Jimenez, then to Wefer. It's a poor ball. He's off target, looking for Minte. Taylor under pressure from the on-loan Newcastle player. Goes back to Joe Hart. He'll clip it out to the right. Alistair Johnston gets the slightest touch onto it. The fullbacks have both been excellent tonight, to be fair. James mentioning Greg Taylor earlier. Celtic have it with O'Reilly. Feeds it back the way to McGregor. They wanted it forward though to Alistair Johnston. Made an excellent attacking run. Here's Greg Taylor picking up in the midfield. And he's brought down again. This time no free kick. The referee wagging his finger. Taylor has it. He's battling so well. He loses out eventually. He slipped from here through down the near side. Here's Palma. The Celtic fans not impressed. They wanted a free kick there. They'll get one now. Here Truda and Palma then boots the ball off Luis Palma after that. It was a show of petulance. He's doing well to get away with a yellow card there, the Feyenoord skipper.
He only done it because he done something that you don't associate with a Champions League player. He goes to kick it with his right, toe pokes it with his left, and swipes at it and misses the ball completely. It's refreshing to see that at this level, isn't it, Killian?
I'm sure I've done that.
There's Greg Taylor getting it from Palma. Gertruda with the challenge. And again, and Taylor out for a Celtic throw-in. It's that little break in play when Taylor was receiving treatment. Probably came at a good time for Celtic.
Yeah, and again, leading up to that, Greg Taylor's done brilliantly. He's taken the ball in midfield. Somehow got past the players, and then it looked like the referee wasn't given the foul. And he's somehow come away with the ball.
1-0 Celtic it remains. Alistair Johnston back to the edge of his own box for Welsh. Short to McGregor. Change of pace, just turning away from Ivanusic. Finds Alistair Johnston, long ball looking for Kyogo. It's well defended by Bielen. Kyogo got goal side of him. The ball didn't come that way though. And Feyenoord clear. And it's now with Minte, right hand side of the centre circle. Short ball back to Mats Wiefer. And then here Truda. Arne Slot, the Feyenoord coach, hands in pockets, comes out to the edge of his technical area. He's been Dutch Manager of the Year for the last 2 seasons. As Feyenoord come forward, the low ball into the box is cut out and cleared. Hartman had it over on that far side. That was out for a throw-in to Feyenoord off Mikey Johnston, and the Celtic fans in the North Stand felt that was still in play. It stays Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0. He actually, Slot, 2 years in a row, won Dutch Manager of the Year. He managed to succeed Erik ten Hag, who won it 2 years in succession as well for his exploits at Ajax.
Turned down Spurs as well, didn't he?
Well, he did. That's why they came hunting here for Postecoglou. He wanted to stay at Feyenoord. They are, as I mentioned in the first half, 10 points adrift of PSV in the title race back home. They are 9 away European games all told without a win. There's 7 defeats on the bounce away from home in Champions League. Our Feyenoord, Conference League runners-up a couple of seasons ago to Roma, as Van den Belt comes up to the edge of the box. Wiefer's onto it, down he goes, no penalty, says the referee. The howls from the Feyenoord supporters as Joe Hart holds on. It stays Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0 on 65.5.
It's Greg Taylor, isn't it, coming across Wiefer. I think he got a little touch on the ball there, referee in a good position, as Killian says at half-time, makes a decision early.
Changes both coming up. I think James Forrest is being readied by Celtic. And Feyenoord are going to bring on the Japanese forward Ayase Ueda.
O's getting ready as well.
Yeah, so he is. Double change anyway for Celtic. Clip ball from Bielen. Attacking ball to the left of the Celtic box is cut out. Only half away though. Ivanusic with the pass is cut out. Breaks back to Hansko. Now everyone, bar Justin Vilau, the Feyenoord goalkeeper, are in the Celtic half. Kyogo putting the pressure on the halfway line on Bielen, breaks to Zerouki and blocked by Palma, and out for a throw into Feyenoord on this near side. And here come the changes. I'm going to bring off the Croatia international Ivanusic, and it will be Ueda who'll come on. He's heading towards the 20 cap mark for Japan. Started their second game at the World Cup last year against Costa Rica, but he came off at half-time. He didn't play again at the tournament, but he did score against Germany in a friendly victory earlier this year. And Celtic make a double change. Kyogo off and O on, and James Forrest will come on to replace Mikey Johnston. Killian Sheridan, a word about James Forrest and his longevity at this club.
Yeah, I mean, it showed. Came on against St Johnstone, scored his goal to keep that record of consecutive seasons scoring. I think he gives you that sense of, you know, if a chance comes, you fancy that he'll take a chance.
He'll keep the ball as well, won't he?
Yeah.
Those the changes for Celtic. Here come Feyenoord, who made that change of their own there. Callum McGregor clears, killed in the chest by Beelen, midway inside the Celtic half. He finds here Truda, nifty footwork there from the Feyenoord captain, but he loses out to Palma. Knocked forward by Bernardo to he goes down. Was the ball won? No, says the referee. Celtic free kick. We're into the final quarter here. Group E, Matchday 6. Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0. A reminder, Celtic haven't won a Champions League home game at Celtic Park since the autumn of 2013.
They're fortunate there, Liam. That wasn't a foul for me. I think overran it. It's good defending. They're not complaining about it.
Liam Scales takes the short free kick to McGregor, who goes back to Welsh. And then he squares it to Scales. Can Scales and Welsh team up and pick up a rare clean sheet in the Champions League for Celtic, as Jimenez brings down Liam Scales on this near side, and Jimenez has turned to wag his finger at the officials.
I think Celtic can be very happy that he's fouled them there.
I mean, I'm all for playing fast and, you know, keeping the ball in play and trying to play at a high tempo, but Liam Scales did not need to take that free kick early. He played it into Callum McGregor, who had a man on him. He had to drop 5 yards. Callum McGregor gives him it back. It ends up going back to Joe Hart, and then, you know, that's when the foul's made. But there's a chance to really set and try and take the sting out a little bit, but play. It's all right playing at a tempo, but play at your own tempo. You know, play when it's on. Don't force it.
It feels like anytime Celtic are inviting the pressure on is when they're just passing it, like you're saying, at the back, and they're just passing it across for the sake of passing it across, and then it's just inviting Feyenoord to come on and press them, and then that's where the nerves start to kick in. It's just unnecessary sometimes. 1-0
Celtic it is, with just over 20 minutes to play. To come tomorrow, Aberdeen, Eintracht Frankfurt in the Conference League, 5:45 kick-off. Then it's Real Betis Rangers in the Europa League, 8 o'clock kick-off. Saturday, all the action across the leagues, including back here, Heart of Midlothian are the visitors. And then Sunday, League Cup final, Rangers against Aberdeen, 3 o'clock kick-off at Hampden. It's quite the lineup over the next few days. All live here in BBC Radio Scotland. As Alistair Johnston plays it short to Welsh at the edge of his own box. Forward to McGregor. He turns it back to Alistair Johnston on the right. Down the line for Forrest. Infield to McGregor. McGregor then fires it into the feet of Bernardo. It's a wonderful ball. Bernardo with the side foot out to the right-hand side for Forrest. Forrest's got and Palma waiting in the middle. Others arriving. Forrest with the ball in. Hits it, but he hits it well wide. He's a little optimistic look at the French official, hoping that he was being fouled there 6 yards out. But it goes behind harmlessly for the goal kick and stays Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0.
Yeah, brilliant play from Celtic. James Forrest has done brilliant over on the sideline. He's taken a great touch in a tight position to, first of all, keep the ball in play, keep the ball, and then follow it up. Callum McGregor with a brilliant reverse pass into Bernardo, I think it was. Great touch, turns out. Plays James Forrest in again, a great cross. And just couldn't get the connection he wanted on it. He's done well. He's got across his man, got on the end of it. Great play from Celtic.
It's brilliant play. You summed it up perfectly there. I think when it comes to Odo, he's made the run maybe too far beyond the near post.
Too early,
hold it in, because he's got his marker on his left hand side, knows exactly where he is. He gets his right foot to it. If he just even leans on that left foot, takes the weight off the ball, he maybe get a spin and get his shot away with his left foot. But it's much easier sitting here saying that.
There's Minte charging down the right-hand side, and Palma's gone down, and that's going to be a Celtic throw-in in the end, but Luis Palma's down. I think Stephen Welsh is struggling a bit. I think Gustav Lagerbielke is going to be on shortly for Celtic, so they'll hope that this isn't a long-term problem for Stephen Welsh. He's just back in the reckoning. Just that 45 minutes in Aberdeen at the end of August before tonight. First start in a year. And from what we understand, he's going to be replaced by Lagerbielke.
Palma's a problem here, Liam, because you can see Brendan Rodgers and John Kennedy quite a long discussion about who to bring on. You're looking at the bench and you don't have any like-for-like replacements of Palma.
Celtic haven't kept a clean sheet here at Celtic Park in a Champions League game in the competition proper since a goalless draw with Benfica in September 2012. I remember that game. The Celtic support weren't happy with the performance, and that was the season they went on to beat Barcelona here and make it through to the last 16, where they would lose to Juventus. Palma receiving treatment down below us still, so the stoppage in play continues. And if Palma are able to continue, it is his goal that separates the teams on 73 minutes. He stroked home that penalty in the first half, and I think there's going to be a double change required here. Brendan Rodgers has just signalled to one of the other subs who are warming up off to our left. So Celtic have to make a double change here by the look of it. Palma appears to be struggling. I'm not sure, I actually missed the incident there. I was watching the ball. It seemed to happen off the ball. It looks as though it's his nose that's causing the problem. There's something facially that they're working on. This is a fairly substantial stop in proceedings. Change is coming for Celtic, and firstly, Welsh is limping around out there, Faddy. It looks as though Lagerbielke will be replacing him.
Yeah, I wonder if it's this young frame that's going to come on for Palma. He's got something up at his nose. He's clearly, caught one in the face. Lagerbielke's been stood there the whole time, but I think Celtic may use the two subs here. Would that be right, Liam? With the stoppages.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. So, first change. It will be Lagerbielke who will replace Stephen Welsh. Some rare action for him tonight, playing in the Champions League is always a good experience. But talking about good experiences, how about making your debut in a Champions League fixture for 17-year-old Mitchell Frame? What a moment for him.
Incredible. It'd have been a moment for him just being involved and being on the bench. And then, he's out there warming up. When you're a young player and you're warming up, you're just hoping that comes. So often you're shouted to tell someone else to get warmed up, but getting that moment where it's actually you that's coming on, and to come on in a Champions League night for your debut, incredible. I think he normally operates as a left back.
Yeah.
But left backs, full backs these days are all attacking players, so he should have no problem slotting in that wide left area.
Scales has been caught by Minte down this near side, and the Celtic supporters are wanting him booked. He was booked earlier. He clearly felt that was worthy of a second yellow, Killian.
Yeah, just to go back to Frame coming on, brilliant for him. 17 coming on.
How old were you when you made your Celtic debut? Can you remember?
18.
How did that feel?
The best thing for him is now he's almost so young where he's too young to really overthink it, I think. There's no...
Oh, he's onto the ball down the left-hand side here. What can he do? He can fire it across, and he almost set up a second Celtic goal. Hansko puts it behind. Could so easily have netted an own goal there. Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0. 76 on the clock.
Like Faddy was saying, he was probably a late addition onto the bench. He won't have had time to think about anything.
Here's Callum McGregor. He almost found O'Reilly. The pass wasn't great, and it was behind for the goal kick. It just needed a little caress along the grass to get it into the path of O'Reilly. He got too much on it, and it goes behind for the goal kick. Stays 1-0 Celtic.
It'll be interesting if Lagerbielke can continue like Welsh has been doing with Scales. Anytime there's been a little bit of pressure from Feyenoord coming on and Celtic are going a little bit deep, they've pushed up really well. As soon as they've won the ball back, they've pushed up really well and been able to get themselves a little higher up the pitch.
So foul on Bernardo, free kick to Celtic. That'll do very nicely for the Scottish champions. Deep into stoppage time at Gavefield, it remains Arbroath 1, Wraith Rovers 1. Looking like a draw, unless the Fifers can do what they've been doing regularly this season and score late on. Feyenoord are going to make their final change. Ivaro Dilrosun is going to come on in just a moment. Celtic have it. It's shifted out to James Forrest wide in the right. They lead 1-0. Long ball down the right there. It's Johnston the underlap. Low ball across. Feyenoord have enough in the way inside the 6-yard box to deny. Oh, just didn't get a sight of goal. And Feyenoord come away with it. And here's a chance for the substitute Ueda up to the edge of the box, and he fires it high over the crossbar. And that will be a goal kick to Celtic with about 12 minutes to play. Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0. And James McFadden, Lewis Vaughan has just scored for Wraith Rovers in second half stoppage time. It's the late show again, and Mr. Wraith Rovers has done it. They're going to beat Arbroath 2-1 to go back to the summit of the championship. We'll get to that in a moment, because here come Feyenoord. Clip ball back towards Ueda, too much on it. Hart holds on. Celtic 1, Feyenoord 0. And it is full time at Gayfield. Arbroath 1, Wraith Rovers 2.
That's incredible. They're certainly title challengers. I think they'll run Dundee United all the way this season. And when you said it was 1-1, they're just a team that never give up. They've got great options off the bench as well. Really strong squad this season. Wraith Rovers will be there at the end, I'm sure of it.
That's a massive victory again for Ian Murray's team. So 2-1, Wraith Rovers as Feyenoord bring on Dilrosun, and out for a throw-in over on the far side. Killen, you play in the championship. Just finally on this with Cally Thistle, disappointing result for you guys last night. Who's the stronger out of those two, do you think? Wraith Rovers, Dundee United?
Wraith Rovers, any team that can go and always be in a game, and it happened to us 2 weeks ago. We're winning 1-0 against them, and they win 2-1 from maybe, I think they got back to 1-1 from the 88th minute. Any team that can do that will always be in with a chance as long as they can maintain it, they'll always be in with a chance for the title. I think they play a really good style of football. I like from playing against them last year. They were really impressive. It'll just be a case of how long they can keep the squad healthy. They probably won't have as big a squad as Dundee United. January will be important as well. But it's from trying to look at it from a neutral point of view, it should be an exciting race.
2-1 Wraith Rovers at Arbroath. Here in the Champions League Matchday 6, Celtic are just over 10 minutes plus stoppage time away from their first home win in the tournament for more than a decade. And first win all told in the tournament since that victory over Anderlecht in 2017 during Brendan Rodgers' first spell at the club.
We've barely had a chance to speak about Mitchell Frame's first involvement. The ball comes in, flicks it round the corner, it's played up the line, shows good pace. When you get there, how's your decision making? Brilliant. Flashes a ball across that's nearly diverted into his own net, but defended nonetheless, and Celtic get a corner from it. He'll never forget that, his first involvement in the Champions League coming on, but actually having an impact in the game as well. Brilliant.
It's going to be a Feyenoord ball on this near side here. Truda with the throw-in, bowls it back to Vifer on the halfway line.
Just going back to the play up the right side, had another good chance at the front post. I think he's just gone again, maybe slightly too early. Maybe
defending. Balen just wraps his leg round him, and clears it.
There's Dilrosun down this right-hand side. The sub skips away from Frame at the right angle of the box, and the left foot gets the cross in, headed away by Scales, and out for a throw-in. Liam Scales started this calendar year losing to Darvel in the Scottish Cup with Aberdeen. He's ending it playing in the Champions League with Celtic, and that is something that he probably wouldn't have expected. There's a chance for here. Truda, it's cut out by O'Reilly, forward towards O under pressure. He's having a look at the referee. No free kick. Feyenoord play on.
Needs to stick. He has to hold it in there. Looks like he's losing his footing as the ball comes up to him, but he needs to hold that in.
It looked like he was having a little look around, and he saw he was on his own and thought he was more hoping to get fouled.
Yeah. Just take that one through the back though. Just hold it up, make the defender make the first move.
You're through that to the edge of the area. Jimenez, if Celtic have managed to keep quite quiet, but it breaks to Minte, who scores! Left angle of the box. The on-loan Newcastle player thumps it past Joe Hart. Celtic's hopes of a Champions League victory have been harmed seriously here by Yakuba Minte, who leathers it low past the Celtic keeper. And it's Celtic 1, Feyenoord 1 with 8 to play.
And the Feyenoord bench aren't led by Arne Slots. running, shouting at the players, telling them to get back. Again, the chat was this was a dead rubber, it didn't matter to anyone. Feyenoord want to win this game. And they get the overload and they let down the right hand side of Celtic. I think there's a little nudge on Alistair Johnston to allow the ball to run through to Minty, and he just blasts it beyond Joe Hart. Goes for power, don't think there was too much control in it, but he sees the ball hit the back of the net, and Feyenoord have been in control this second half. They have looked dangerous and they get the reward for it.
Yeah, the last 5-10 minutes there's been Celtic under a lot more pressure.
There's a ball over the top for O'Hughie up the other end, takes the first touch on the left foot. It's brilliantly defended by Hansko. It just wouldn't fall for Flag's gone up anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. David Hansko didn't know that. It's outstanding defending.
It's brilliant. It's that pass that we've seen so much in the first half, just up the inside channel. Bends his run, obviously not enough, but he's got James Forrest his right hand side. If he does it quicker, he can lay it on a plate for James Forrest. He doesn't, he wants to get the shot away. The ball doesn't drop for him, allows Hansko to get back, but offside anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
There's another chance for Feyenoord down the right hand side. Dilrosun drives it across, blocked on the 6-yard line, and breaks to Bernardo, who turns and sweeps it clear. Gives chase, Hansko's onto it though. Little ball forward for Jimenez, out to the left hand side for the goal scorer Minty, who Celtic supporters felt should have been sent off earlier in the second half for a second yellow, but Alistair Johnston pinches it off him. Wanted too long, Minty wins it back. Now Dilrosun to the edge of the penalty area. Here's an opportunity for Jimenez, down he goes, no penalty. Picked up in the left hand side, Minty's the header from Ueda, straight at Hart, who holds on. And it remains at 1-1 in 84, but all of a sudden, from a winning position, Celtic are hanging on at 1-1.
They are, and the game's opened right up. It's gone end to end, and again, I'm going to keep mentioning it. This does not look like two teams that don't care whether they win, nor two sets of fans that don't care whether they win.
Yeah, just there, Alistair Johnston came out and he was just, I think he was hoping for O to come and show for him. O had made the run in behind, and Johnston just couldn't get away to be able to play the ball in behind.
There's a ball through towards Ueda. Lagerbielke gets an important touch. Ueda still onto it, crosses in for Jimenez, who heads it the wrong way, gets a second chance, and it's blocked on the 6-yard line by Liam Scales. And then the volley from well out from Van den Belt is sliced wide, and it stays Celtic 1, Feyenoord 1.
Yeah, Lagerbielke read the situation well. He takes a touch, then almost loses his balance, allowing Ueda in, and the ball comes to Jimenez, little nudge on Scales, and it breaks fortunately for him, and Celtic manage to clear it. Comes to the edge of the box, Paulo Bernardo, it goes back to play, tries to flick it round the corner with the outside his boot to Mitchell Frame. It's not on, and it just allows Feyenoord to keep the pressure on.
Well, as things stand out there on the pitch at 1-1, there's only one team going to win this, and it's the Dutch champions. What can Celtic do here though? Here's O'Reilly out to Alistair Johnston, onto the touchline for Forrest, level with the edge of the centre circle. His ball up the line's cut out, and now Feyenoord have it back. It's whipped into the middle of the pitch here for Ueda. Jimenez to his right, that's where it goes. Jimenez has it there, flooding forward. Feyenoord searching for a winner here. Jimenez from distance, but it's a comfortable take by Hart, the left foot shot. The Celtic fans, listen to them now. They want Hart to have a better option, but it's the Celtic goalkeeper having to just hold on to it. There was no option for him. Could potentially put his team under more pressure, and he released it early. Here's Callum McGregor now though, forward to O. First time for O'Reilly, who slides in, manages to retain possession only just. Alistair Johnston finds McGregor, and then out to O'Reilly. Down the line it goes to Alistair Johnston, back towards O'Reilly. It's cut out, it breaks to Callum McGregor. Takes his time, shoots for goal, and hits the top of the bar. Wonderful hit from the Celtic skipper. And he's left to turn around in frustration as it clips off the top of Bilau's bar and stays Celtic 1, Feyenoord 1 on 86.5.
Yeah, great shot from McGregor. It just shows you when Celtic actually get out from the back and they can get it into midfield, they're dangerous. They can catch Feyenoord. Feyenoord are totally committed to pressing up high, and it's just once they can get out, the quicker they can get out, the quicker they can hurt Feyenoord. And like that, they've created 2 or 3 chances from playing maybe 3 passes.
Yeah, the ball comes up to Owen, he keeps it, he manages to find his hand.
Slipped through towards O'Hughie, the keeper's read it brilliantly though. Sweeper keeping there from Bilau, comes outside his box and launches it into the north stand on the far side. Alistair Johnston will take the throw.
They've upped the tempo now, Celtic, haven't they? They've maybe got a little bit of confidence for that opportunity for, well, half chance for Callum McGregor. It's a brilliant strike. Unfortunate to see it crash off the bat. But they certainly look like they've got a new energy going forward.
It's one last push, isn't it? James Forrest giving chase, but Hansko's there. Forrest trying to battle with the Slovakia international, but he sees it behind for the goal kick. Celtic 1, Feyenoord 1 at Celtic Park. Frankfurt Aberdeen tomorrow at Pittodrie. Aberdeen Frankfurt 5:45 in the Conference League. Real Betis Rangers in the Europa League. Rangers may have to win that one to go through, and they will go through if they can match Sparta Prague's result against Aris. They've got guaranteed Conference League football at the very least. Celtic and Aberdeen heading out though. Celtic not going down without a fight tonight, that's for sure. It'll look like they were heading towards 3 points, but the wait may well go on into next season should they return to this competition. Alistair Johnston can't keep it in play. It's out for a throw-in over on the far side for Feyenoord. Rolled back to Hansko, and he squares it to Wiefer. He finds Gertruda on this right-hand side. Forward to Zerouki, who gave away the penalty in the first half, into the feet of Van den Belt, but they've given it away, but only momentarily, because Gertruda's hoofed it up into the air, and it drops down at the feet of O'Reilly. O'Reilly's managed to find frame out on this left-hand side. What can he do, the youngster? 2 Feyenoord players around him trying to get away from Gertruda, who stands his ground, just brushes frame aside and wins the ball back for the Dutch champions. Jimenez hooks it forward over his head, but it breaks to Scales. Midway inside the Feyenoord half for Taylor. Now back to Scales, really good footwork away from Gertruda. Early ball comes in, cut out though. Cut out by Feyenoord just inside the penalty area. Callum McGregor has it, he's scampering forward as he loves to do. Runs into trouble though, and Zerouki picks up the scraps. His pass is given away, straight to Lagerbielke. We're in the 90th minute, 1-1. Tight to frame, wide on the left, up against Gertruda. Taking him on, looking for the cross, wins the corner. Celtic are not done yet.
I love that confidence from Mitch Frame. And it's the last 2 times he's picked the ball up. Real confidence to drive up the line, try and get space, try and get a cross away. I love it.
Short corner taken to Forrest by O'Reilly. Forrest at the left angle of the box. 6 minutes have been added. It's back with Alistair Johnston. Bends the right foot cross in deep to O'Reilly. Takes the touch, good play. O'Reilly crosses the back post, and Lagerbielke heads it home. Gustav Lagerbielke has surely won this game for Celtic, and has surely won a Champions League game for this football club in the stadium for the first time in more than a decade. It's been a long time in the coming. But Lagerbielke nodding home an outstanding cross from Matt O'Reilly, and it is Celtic 2, Feyenoord 1.
Yeah, great play from Celtic, taking the corner quickly, the spot as it was on. James Forrest takes a great ball back in. Matt O'Reilly does brilliantly. It's one of those where he's not sure if the ball's going to land to him or reach him. He does really, really good, takes a good touch and then just floats it up there. Lagerbielke there on his own at the back post. Great goal.
Oh, it's a tremendous goal. It really is. The ball to the back post. Matt O'Reilly's just peeled off Jimenez, but it literally must graze the top of Jimenez's head. And Matt O'Reilly just controls it in the half volley. Brilliant first touch inside. And then he just clips the ball to the back post on a plate for Lagerbielke, who just has to nod it into the net. It's a brilliant goal from Celtic. In the last 5 or 10 minutes, you could see that confidence, that zip, that energy to get forward. And I have to say, they get the corner through a drive and run from young Mitchell Frame down this left-hand side. It's brilliant from Celtic.
There's been a few Celtic supporters have made their way onto the pitch, which is why this kick-off has been delayed. A minute and a half of stoppage time has been played. 6 were added. That came before the goal was scored by Gustav Lagerbielke. What a moment for him personally, because it's been an inauspicious start to his Celtic career. Sent off into Kaup on Matchday 1. And that's a little bit of redemption from the Swede, as O tries to get it under control. It's an awkward bounce. It's played back to Bilau. He'll rifle it clear first time with the right foot.
Yeah, Fatty mentioned it there on Mitchell Frame getting the ball and just being direct and trying to go on the outside. After just losing the ball against him, he's taken it and went and done the exact same thing, got a corner out of it. Celtic scores. Like Fatty said, fair play to Frame for having the confidence to go and take him on.
Ball forward by Bernardo. Celtic still with work to do though. Been hit with sucker punches all over the place in this group this season. Won back brilliantly there by Frame once more. Showed some amount of desire as he won it off Hansko. Van den Belt picks it up for Feyenoord though. Little ball to Ziruki. And the big Feyenoord number 6 looks to switch it out to Minty in the left, who slips. And Celtic fans enjoyed that because they've not enjoyed the performance of Minty since he came on early in the second half. Felt he should have been sent off. And he scored the equaliser, but Gustav Lagerbielke surely has won this game. There's only 3 minutes of stoppages left. And if Celtic don't win this game now, it'll be criminal.
I think in the 5 or 10 minutes before the goal, Celtic done really well. They were under a lot of pressure, things weren't happening, there was a few sloppy passes, and they done well just to kind of almost believe in themselves again and have the confidence to go and play and create stuff and kind of see that they can create against them.
There's a chance. Dilrosun's effort beaten away by Hart. The rebound's blocked. It was Minty. It was his shot. Celtic block, and they've got it clear. Hyun-Kyu giving chase. Wins it off Hansko. The referee though blows for a free kick. The flag went up, the linesman gave it. O's actually knocked it home. And the whistle went a long time ago. He's claiming he didn't hear the whistle. Should it not be outstretched.
Should it not be allowed to play on though?
Yeah, you're right. It should have been, yeah.
Yeah, the flag went up, didn't it? It went up immediately.
He gave it for a foul.
Yeah.
Though. I think that should be allowed to play on.
And then they look back at it. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'd like to see it again. It didn't look like there was too much in it.
There's still 2 minutes to play, and I think there'll be more added on top of that. 2-1 to Celtic. It's flicked back the way by Hartman to Hansko. And it looked like just bullied him. The officials didn't like it. Long ball from Bilau. It's off the head of Taylor. Back onto the chest of McGregor, who flicks it forward towards Hansko wins the header and nods it towards the edge of the box. Scales heads it half away. Jimenez will settle for the corner down on this near side. 2-1 to Celtic. We're about to go into the 6th minute of stoppage time. 6 were added initially, but it is a minimum of 6. Jimenez leaves the corner on this near side. Dilrosun's going to take it. Bilau, the keeper's gone into the box. Feyenoord look to salvage a point out of this one. So they got a man down. It's Ziruki, who gave away the penalty in the first half from a corner. And he now is down. He's holding on to his face, claiming, I think, that he was fouled inside the box. The referee hasn't initially seen anything wrong with it. Feyenoord will have a corner to be taken by Dilrosun on this near side, right in front of the away supporters. There's not long to go. Dilrosun takes, left-footed into the near post, headed across goal. It's headed down, it's blocked. Celtic desperately trying to get it away, and eventually it goes behind for the goal kick. Feyenoord are claiming for something. Yellow cards has been flashed at FIFA. It's a Celtic ball. Well, who said this was a dead rubber? It's been action-packed from the opening minute of the game. Celtic 2, Feyenoord 1. The Scottish champions are almost there.
I'm just glad they gave a foul. The referee made the decision earlier, because try picking out what happened in that. There was so many bodies in the 6-yard box. No idea what happened.
I think Alistair Johnson has done unbelievable there. He's just thrown his body at him like a keeper at the header coming down, and I think I could see all the players going over to him afterwards to congratulate him. I think he's done brilliantly there.
Joe Hart being urged by the referee to get on with it. Here he goes, right-footed, long ball forward. We are well into a 7th minute of stoppage time. It's gone out of play. Couldn't keep it in. Throw in. Feyenoord. We play on. And the time being added on is to accommodate the celebrations that greeted the Lagerbielke goal. Surely he's going to win this game for Celtic. Clear, nice Hales. He just boots it away as far as he can make it, and there is the final whistle. It's been a long time since victory was celebrated in the Champions League here at Celtic Park. Well, that's what Celtic have managed tonight. An act of defiance by Brendan Rodgers' side, who knew they were going to finish bottom of Group E tonight, no matter the score. They knew their European season was over. But they were excellent this evening. And Rodgers will feel his team deserves the victory. There were chances galore for Feyenoord at times. It came in gluts, but Celtic survived through excellent goalkeeping and excellent defending. And they had the desired impact up the other end as well. Palma's penalty in the first half giving them the lead at 1-0. Cancelled out on 82 minutes by Minte, on loan from Newcastle, as he rammed home what looked like a goal that would seal at least a point for Feyenoord tonight. The Dutch champions searched for a winner, but it was Celtic through Gustav Lagerbielke, after brilliant work by 17-year-old Mitch Frame in his debut, winning the corner, and from it Matt O'Reilly picked up the ball left-hand side of the box. It's a wonderful clip ball to the back post. Lagerbielke could not miss. Gustav Lagerbielke is the first man to score a Champions League winning goal here at Celtic Park for the home team since Beram Kayal all those years ago, 10 years and 2 months to be exact, when he did so against the then Dutch champions Ajax Amsterdam. It's a side from Rotterdam that Celtic have beaten tonight. Yes, it was a record when they lost in Rome to Lazio at 15 Champions League games without victory, dating back to that win over Anderlecht in Brussels in 2017. And yes, this means nothing more with regards to their European season, but it's a win for Celtic. It is 0.4 coefficient points for Scottish football, and a couple of extra £1 million in the already well-served Celtic coffers. It's been a long time coming for the Scottish champions, but they have won in the Champions League as they sign off from Europe for the season. They will just hope they're back dining at the top table in 24-25. It finished Celtic 2, Feyenoord 1.
Celtic in the Champions League.